I'm your host, Deidre Malone. I'm really excited about my show today. My guest is a friend, but also a major entrepreneur that is working in the space to really help a lot of people in our community. And I'm so proud to call Carol Jackson my friend. She is the executive director of Families Matter. And there is a new program that Families Matter has now, just launched in February, and it's called AFIRM. A Father's Involvement Really Matters. And so I wanted to bring Carol in today to talk about the AFIRM program. Carol Jackson, welcome to
Deidre.
Dialogue with Deidre.
Thank you so much. I'm so grateful to be here. Thank you for having me.
We go way, way back.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
She's been working in the space that has been about helping people for a long time.
Yes.
Carol, I want to start out talking about Families Matter first.
Yes.
Tell me, what was the impetus for you to start Families Matter?
Well, actually, Families Matter was started, and thank you so much, Deidre, for having me here. I'm so thankful for this opportunity. Families Matter was actually started in Second Presbyterian Church. I don't know. Most people do not know that. But when my husband, my husband, Herman.
I do.
When we first moved here to Denver, we heard about this project that was going on. And we saw my husband's oldest brother actually perform a baby's funeral at the gravesite. At that time, in 2004, early 2005, Memphis had the highest infant mortality rate. And so this church, along with its pastors and some other community organizers, got together and began to look at what needed to be done in the community to raise that, because at that point, the infant mortality rate was that of a third world country in Memphis, Tennessee. So they began to look at what they needed to do to help people understand the need to be in great relationships, to get married, to do things where when babies are born, they're born into a healthy, thriving environment. So that was my entrance into Memphis, Tennessee. So at that point, what I began to do was search out who those people were and how to get involved with them. And so I became like a consultant in some cases to Families Matter at that point. And so I began to just look at some of the things that they were doing and thinking about, wait a minute, that is a wonderful idea. What you're doing is wonderful, but there's a genesis here.
Right.
There's a foundation that we need to look at. So after several years passed and I became the executive director of Families Matter, I kind of switched some things. I said to them, I believe we need to have something because there's so many organizations that are involved with women.
Yes.
There's a tremendous amount of organizations that deal with children, and yet there were very few, if any, at that time, organizations that helped men. And so that was the impetus for me as far as trying to get Families Matter into a direction that I thought would be foundational, not just for an individual, but for the families of Memphis, Tennessee.
You know, men are the backbone of any family.
Yes.
And in Memphis and Shelby County, just to think that we have so many that are incarcerated.
Right.
So many who are absentee dads.
Yes.
And some of them may be absentee dads because they don't have an opportunity for employment to be able to take care of their children.
They have no idea of how to navigate the system.
Right.
In so many instances. We have, if you go to our website, www.familiesmattermemphis.org, if you go there, you'll find so many of the testimonials that say, I didn't know what I didn't know. All right? So what we do is try to help them understand their role within the family structure. We're not trying to get them back with perhaps the baby's mom, although that would be a great thing.
Right.
However, we want them to be involved with their children. This intergenerational impact that we're trying to have is so important. Not for us, Deidre, it really isn't. I'll be gone. But it is important for those that are coming behind us so that they understand that foundational piece and they have something to hold on to, because I truly believe that so many of our young men that you were talking about that's incarcerated, they're there because there's no hope.
No hope. Feel like there's no opportunity
There's none.
for them to make a good living,
Right.
to provide for their children.
Right.
You know, full transparency, the Carter Malone Group has worked with Families Matter on some focus
Yes,
groups in the
yes,
past.
yes.
And helping facilitate that
Yes,
discussion,
yes.
Carol, you know, to just talk to those young men, to hear their side of the story,
Yes.
how they feel like the court system sometimes
Is against them.
is against them.
Right.
You know, their
Child support.
oh, is
my
against
goodness,
them.
against them.
You know, they can be locked up.
Right.
Their license
Right,
taken from them,
right.
so they can't get to work
Right.
if they don't pay child support.
Well, and I had a young man call me, actually his pastor called me, because the church was helping to supplement his income to some degree. So the pastor called because he wanted to know how we could best serve the young man, all right? Because the church cannot be a forever supplement.
Right.
Well, I set it up to where we would go talk to the young man's counselor at the child support office. He literally sat in his car for about 15 minutes because he was afraid to enter the office for fear that it was a sting.
Right.
And I was setting him up
Oh, to lock him up.
to lock him up.
Yeah.
And so that trust level, all those things that they've heard, and they hear these things in the barbershops and in different places,
Sure.
talking to people on the street. But once I got him in there, once I could convince him to walk through the door, because I told him, if you go to jail today, guess what? I go to jail today with you. We're going to jail today together. And so once I got him in the door and he began to talk to the counselor, and we settled a lot of the things that were taking his money away as soon as he would get a job,
Yeah.
they would take his entire check almost, okay? Once we got those things settled, he literally wanted to hug me as we walked out the door.
Sure he did.
Right.
Because he had no hope.
He had no hope. He had no hope, and he had no idea of how to navigate the system. So a lot of what we're talking about, Deidre, and you know this from the focus group,
Yes.
our people are destroyed for lack of knowledge.
That's right. And so that's an excellent segue to AFIRM.
Yes.
For you to come out of those focus groups, but you already had an idea
Yes.
about this program.
Well, we were already doing it.
Right.
We were already doing it.
Right.
What we needed was the other pieces that where we have that primary partner. So we needed that piece. And then we needed the funding in order to make some of these things happen. Because we were doing it, but we were doing it on the scale that we could do it on, right? With a
Right.
limited budget. But now we're able to get people in. I mean, AFIRM, a father's involvement really matters.
I mean, just the name of the
Yes,
program is
yes,
so cool
yes.
because everybody wants their dad to be
Yes,
involved in their life,
yes,
right?
yes.
And so Carol, from the time that you explored this partnership with Maximus, and you have some other partners,
Right, we have other partners.
and then you put together the grant,
Yes.
the application,
Yeah,
right?
First, we did the application.
Okay.
The application was approved, and we became, because when the Department of Human Services released it, I think they received like 86 grant applications. From those 86 grant applications, I believe they then brought in, I think it was 17 organizations, and we had to do a pitch. Okay. We literally had to go before the state with the Commissioner Carter, and his cabinet and his staff. I remember walking into that room thinking, someone else do this, I'm going to go back home. But we persevered, you know, and we were awarded. And so that has helped us. Now, Deidre, I have to tell you, none of this is easy.
Right.
None of this is simple. I've learned so many things because we were a small organization.
Right.
And we were funded, more or less, we are funded by corporations, by individuals, by foundations. But this funding is geared specifically. So I still need that foundation, the individual, and the corporations.
Exactly.
You got it. Because that is our prevention piece.
Exactly.
This is intervention piece. So with this, we are intervening in people's lives who in so many instances do not even recognize that they need an intervention.
Right.
But we're here to tell them that they do, so that their children perhaps grow up better than they did.
So, Carol, what's the criteria for someone to be a part of the AFIRM program?
Well, one of the things is our program is from 18 to 40 years old. Mm-hmm. You must be a resident of Memphis and Shelby County. You low income, so that low income bracket that others can explain better than me. But if you make, I believe it's less than $15 an hour,
okay,
you're considered low income. And you have a child within the system of some sort. So even if the child is not born, but you know that you are not involved enough that mom is going to reach out to some type of social services organization, you might want to talk with us,
okay,
so that you don't get into the predicament that so many of our fathers are in at this point. Because what we're trying to do is help those fathers that are low income,
right,
that meet that criteria, so that they can better serve themselves and their children. What we realized, Deidre, is fathers don't have a safety net.
They don't, Carol.
No, they have no place to turn. So that's why churches, in some cases, when a church gets involved with a father that's in this situation, in so many instances, that church administration wants an organization like ours to become involved, because it helps them then help their parishioners. So it's so important, because fathers normally do not have a place to turn.
And let me just say, you've been doing this work for a long time and
Yes.
been helping families.
Right.
Fathers, mothers. But you've also surrounded yourself with national experts for this program.
We did.
Like Dr.
Dr.
Johnson.
Jeffrey Johnson.
Johnson.
Oh my goodness. And he tells me he's not a doctor, but Joe Jones.
Oh, but he's amazing
Yeah,
too.
he's amazing. But Dr. Johnson, Dr. Jeffrey Johnson, who created this wonderful curriculum, and it's a co-parenting curriculum where we go through the normal stuff. I mean, it's thing that I always say, there's nothing new under the sun.
Right.
However, what's under the sun can be packaged differently.
Yes.
Okay. So Dr. Johnson, he packaged his curriculum differently. It has a lot of activities in it. He believes in the 80-20 rule. You know, we hear that in church a lot, right? 80% of the people do not give, and it's the 20% that keeps it going.
Yes.
Well, his idea with his curriculum is, let's do 80% activity and 20% theory. So once the activity is completed, the theory is easy to be taught.
Okay.
Because you've gotten it by doing the activity.
That's outstanding.
Oh, it's wonderful. And then he has the other co-parenting piece, where we literally ask the fathers to bring in the mother or whoever. It could be the grandmother, the caretaker of the child. Bring them in, learn what's going on, and then sign a co-parenting agreement, so that both father and caretaker, mother, grandmother, aunt, whoever is a caretaker. So there's an agreement, so that that child's welfare is better taken care of. It's all, Deidre, everything I am doing is about children.
Yes. Well, Carol, you have a lot of work to do, and I know that you and your team are looking to recruit fathers to be a part of this program.
Yes.
And so what should a dad who low income, really wants to be a part of their child's life, and has child support issues?
Yes, because
right?
this is definitely a program that is connected to a child support order. Okay.
What does that dad need to do?
They need to call us. Okay. They need to call us. They reach out to us. The number to call us, and I have to read yours, is 901-445-0115. Okay. That's the number to call. They can also, I'm going to go out of the box here. They can also call Families Matter at 260-8520. And I'll give you my cell phone number.
That's wonderful.
901-351-1124. We want to somehow touch that father who wants to do things differently,
right?
Who wants to be in his child's life. I have the privilege this evening of going to a father-daughter dance.
that's gonna be so much fun.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it. I said to my husband, "You're going with me."
Exactly.
Because if there's some little girl there whose father's not there, you're going to be her father for the evening. All right. So we are going. That's the type of thing we want fathers to know. These are memories that you make these memories as you go along. Okay. So we want fathers to know that they can create their own legacy within their children's lives, no matter the relationship with the mom. Now, we want a great relationship,
of course,
with the mother,
with the parents.
We want, because the child needs that.
Of course they do.
They need it. However, if that doesn't work, do what you need to do so that whoever the gatekeeper is will not keep you away from your child, but allow you entrance into that child's life so that that child always know that you love them and that you care about them. Because it's more than finances, Deidre.
It is. It really
is. It's the
is.
emotional piece. We were in a meeting earlier today. I heard about a 4-year-old child that they'd studied throughout. Well, now the child is 16, 17 years old. Now they're getting into the system with doing things that we do not like in Memphis, Tennessee. Why are they doing it? It's not because they're so angry. People think our children are angry. They're not angry, Deidre. They're hurt.
Yeah.
They're hurting. And from their hurting, if I'm a child and I know that I cannot stand next to you in language or in finance and things like that, what I do is I come at you as if I'm angry.
Yeah.
And so that's what we're seeing. And what we're trying to do is diminish, cut out some of that, help these fathers and the children become so in love with each other. Malachi states it wonderfully, and that God will turn the hearts of the fathers toward the children and the hearts of the children towards the fathers. But we have to do stuff in between to make that happen.
To get them there. Absolutely.
You got it.
So I want to invite our viewers to go to the Families Matters website too.
Yes.
Because you can learn about everything Families Matters has going on. And then there is a tab that will take you to the AFIRM program as well. So go to that Families Matter website. It's Families Matters Memphis.org. And you'll learn all about what Families Matters has going on, but also you'll learn about the AFIRM program.
Yes.
And you can call Carol.
Yes, please
call
do.
her team.
Please do.
They're looking for participants to be a part of this program. Carol, look at that camera right there and tell folks how, again, that they can be recruited to be a part of the program. Megan's telling you to go over there.
I see Megan. Thank you, Megan. The way you learn about Families Matter is, as Deidre has said, first of all, go to the Families Matter website, which is www.familiesmattermemphis.org. You can call our number that is associated with AFIRM and with our partner, Maximus, which is 901-445-0115. My office phone number is 901-260-8520. And please, my cell phone is always with me. It's on the couch behind me right now. That number is 901-351-1124. Call us, because what we're all about is strengthening families, changing lives. And you know what? I really believe that what we're trying to do will transform Memphis. We can't do it by ourselves. We need all of you to help us. So come and be a part of AFIRM. A father's involvement really matters. Thank you, Deidre, for this opportunity.
Now, Carol, hold up that beautiful brochure, because they have collateral material that you can pick up and learn more about the program.
Everything. And we are the business service team. I have a wonderful community resource manager, April Wade, who is going out into the community, spreading the word about what we're doing. So, Deidre, we have a lot going on.
I know. And April is out there. She's ready to come speak to any group about the program.
Any group.
So call. April will make herself available if it fits with her schedule to come out and talk to your group about this program. Carol, Thank you so much
Oh,
for
no,
coming on
Deidre.
Dialogue with Deidre.
Oh, I love it. I love it. We can dialogue any day of the week.
And we'll come back and we're going to talk some more about AFIRM as well as other programs with Families Matter.
Yes,
We'd love to
yes,
have you come
because
back.
those prevention programs are the ones that will keep us from having such a hard job.
That's
With
right.
the intervention piece. And remember, we're trying to make an intergenerational impact. We want it to go further than where we can see, but go into the future. Thank you, Deidre, for this opportunity.
Thank you, Carol. Thank you. And thank you to our viewers. You've heard about the AFIRM program today, but you've also heard about Families Matter. So we want to make sure that you go to that website, learn about everything that Carol and her team's doing. And if you know of someone, if you know of a dad in between 18 years old and 40. That wants to be a better dad, that just needs some tools to help get him on track, please call Carol's office to make sure that you have a conversation with her team about the program. So thank you so much for joining us today. We will see you next Friday at noon for Dialogue with Deidre. Make sure you follow us on all of our social media platforms and on YouTube on the M1 TV network.